10 years ago, I thought love was simple. I thought if you gave your heart fully, people would hold it gently. I thought everyone was good deep down, and that love alone could change someone. I was 19, living in a small mountain town I had never left. I believed in fairy tales. I didn't know yet how wrong I was. This is the story of the boy who broke me, the long walk I'll never forget, and the man who finally taught me that real love isn't loud or dangerous, it's steady, patient, and kind. But before I met him, before I knew what love could truly be, there was Mason Dodd, and everything started with a smile. Mason was 5 years older than me. He worked at the local garage, fixed cars, and rode a black motorbike. He had strong arms, dark hair, and a crooked smile that seemed to say I don't care about rules. All the girls liked him. And I did too. Whenever I saw him ride through the narrow town streets, my stomach filled with butterflies. One day, as I walked by the post office, he slowed down, turned his head, and smiled at me. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept replaying that smile as if it meant something, but my mother didn't like Mason. That boy is trouble, she said. My cousin warned me too. He's not the type who stays. He only wants attention. I didn't listen. I thought I was different. I thought maybe I could be the one to change him. One Saturday evening, our town held a small festival. Strings of lights stretched across the square, music played, and the air smelled of fried food and sweet pies. My mother didn't want me to go. It'll get late, she said. Too many strangers, I begged her. I promised I'd be with my friends. After a long pause, she nodded. Be home by 10. Not a minute later, I wore my favorite dress. My friends and I laughed, danced, and ate cotton candy. And then Mason arrived. He wasn't with anyone. His eyes searched the crowd until they found me. He walked straight toward me. You look beautiful, he said. My heart jumped. When he asked me to dance, I said yes. We danced through 2 songs, then 3. He spun me around during the fast songs, leaned close during the slow ones. My cheeks hurt from smiling. When the music stopped, Mason leaned in and whispered, "Let's go for a ride." Just the 2 of us. I hesitated. It's getting late. I promised to be home. Just 5 minutes, he said. Around the lake. Come on. I looked at the black motorbike. I had never been on one before. My heart said no, but my curiosity said yes. Okay, I whispered. He handed me a helmet. I climbed on behind him, holding his jacket tightly. The motor roared, and we sped off. At first, it was thrilling. The wind whipped against my face, and the lake shimmered silver under the moonlight. But Mason didn't turn back toward town. Instead, he took a road I didn't know, dark, empty, lined with trees. Where are we going? I asked. Just a little further, he said. I want to show you something. He stopped in a clearing, far from any houses. Tall grass swayed, shadows stretched long. There was nothing but silence. He stepped closer, placed a hand on my waist. I really like you, he said. I smiled nervously. He leaned in to kiss me. I turned my head. Wait, I want to go back now. He laughed softly. Don't be shy. I mean it, I said. Take me home. His face changed. He grabbed my arm roughly. You're no fun, let me go. I shouted. I pushed him hard. He let go, angry now. Fine. Walk home, princess. He started the engine and sped off, leaving me alone in the dark. For a moment, I couldn't move. Then my legs started shaking and I began to walk. It was 5 kilometers back to town. The road was cold. My shoes weren't made for walking. The wind grew stronger. I could hear animals rustling in the trees. Tears blurred my vision. My feet blistered. My dress clung to me with sweat and fear. By the time I saw the town lights, it was nearly midnight. My mother stood outside waiting. She ran to me, wrapped me in her arms, and I sobbed against her shoulder. I told her everything. That night I didn't sleep. I stared at the ceiling, heartbroken. The boy I had loved didn't care about me at all. The next day, I didn't leave my bed. My cousin came and told me Mason had done this to other girls too. You're not the first, she said. The words stung. Why hadn't anyone told me? I felt stupid, small, angry not just at Mason, but at myself for trusting him. That night I stood in front of the mirror. My eyes were swollen, my hair a mess. But I whispered to my reflection, "You will never let someone treat you like this again." And I meant it. Slowly, I grew stronger. I helped my father in the garden. I spent time with my grandmother, who gave the best advice. At 21, I packed a bag and left for the city. I had small savings but a big dream, to start over. I found a job in a bookstore. The pay was low, but I loved the smell of paper, the quiet, the way customers walked in searching for stories. I rented a small room above a cafe. The walls were thin, but it was mine. I filled it with plants, books, and a second-hand armchair. I cooked simple meals. I took long walks in the park. I wrote in a notebook every night. Not about Mason, but about who I wanted to be. For the first time in years, I could breathe. One rainy afternoon, I forgot my umbrella. I left the bookstore as the storm broke, rain soaking my dress in seconds. I huddled under a tree, hugging my bag. The street was nearly empty. Then I saw him, a man with a large green umbrella. He noticed me, crossed the street, and stopped. "Need some cover?" he asked. I hesitated, then nodded. He tilted the umbrella to shelter me. "I'm Will," he said. "Emma," I replied. We walked side by side to my street. The rain drummed against the umbrella, but between us, it was quiet. At the corner, I smiled. "Thank you. You saved me from getting soaked," he smiled back. Guessed the umbrella was worth the investment. The next day I looked for him. But he didn't come. 2 days later, I saw him through the cafe window below my apartment, but I was too shy to wave. By the time I gathered courage, he was gone. Another near miss. A week later, as I arranged books on a shelf, I looked up, and there he was. "Will." He smiled, nodded, and began browsing. My heart thumped. I wanted to speak, but my throat tightened. Before I could, he bought a travel book and left. Another near miss. But he came back. This time he stayed longer. Asked for book recommendations. Joked about how most travel books were dreams, not plans. Over the weeks, he returned often. Sometimes he bought books, sometimes he just read quietly in a corner. I liked his presence. Calm, gentle, he didn't push. He didn't pry. He simply showed up and stayed. One Friday, near closing, he walked up to me. "Would you like to grab a coffee sometime?" he asked. "Outside these walls?" I froze. I hadn't said yes to anyone in years, but his eyes were steady, kind. "Okay," I whispered. We met at a quiet cafe. Talked about books, places we wanted to see, his sister who lived abroad. He listened. Really listened. Weeks turned into months. We went on long walks, explored museums, sat in second-hand shops. He never rushed me. Never touched me without asking. And slowly, brick by brick, I trusted again. One evening, as soft music played in my apartment, I told him about Mason. Not every detail, but enough. He didn't interrupt. Didn't ask why I hadn't fought harder. He just held my hand and said, "You didn't deserve that. You deserve care, safety, choice." I cried not from pain, but from finally being seen. 2 years later, we moved in together. Our apartment was small but bright. Books on every surface, plants on the windowsill, music always playing. We cooked together, laughed over burned pancakes, danced barefoot in the kitchen. On my 29th birthday, he gave me a photo of us under the green umbrella. On the back he had written, "That was the day everything began." A few months later, I found out I was pregnant. When I told him, he held my face and whispered, "We're ready. I've got you." And I knew he meant it. Now, I sit in the same armchair I once bought for my tiny room, watching the rain fall. My belly is round, my heart full. Will is in the kitchen, humming while he washes dishes. Sometimes, I think about that 19-year-old girl who walked 5 kilometers alone in the dark. The girl who cried in her mother's arms, who thought love had to hurt. I want to hold her and say, keep going. One day, you'll be safe. One day, you'll be loved. Because love is not the roar of a motorbike leaving you behind. It's the sound of soft footsteps beside you on a rainy street. It's not danger. It's coming home, and sometimes it begins with a stranger offering you an umbrella,